Hey, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Mama Pies Before the Lesson podcast. I'm your host, Carlos Smiley. Now, last week, we heard the intercessory prayer of a seasoned saint, recognizing that Jerusalem's exile was coming to an end. He was wondering aloud if after all this time, did the children of Israel truly learn their lesson? Did they truly get the message? The understanding that Daniel derived from his Bible study in the book of Jeremiah drove him to his knees in prayers of confession and repentance on behalf of his people. It was inclusive, intercessory prayer that exemplified and maximized the very essence of how we should pray. Adoration, confession, thanksgiving, and supplication. Now therefore, O our God, hear the prayer of thy servant and his supplications, and cause thy face to shine upon thy sanctuary that is desolate, for the Lord's sake. O my God, incline thine ear and hear. Open thine eyes and behold our desolations, and the city which is called by thy name. For we do not present our supplications before thee for our righteousness, but for thy great mercies. O Lord, hear. O Lord, forgive. O Lord, hearken and do. Defer not, for thine own sake, O my God, for thy city and thy people are called by thy name. On Sunday, the title of the lesson is Gabriel's Interpretation. Scriptural basis of our lesson is out of Daniel, the 8th chapter. So the question that I have, and maybe you do too, is how did we get from there being a penitent prayer by a faithful and devoted servant to forgive his people and to heal the land? How do we go from there to here an angel's interpretation of the world to come and a mandate to seal the vision for a time not yet arrived? Hopefully, after today's conversation, we'll better understand what our biblical heroes were dealing with, wondering whether an exiled nation had learned its lesson, standing strong in the word and making their requests known before God. So if you like what you hear, click the button below and subscribe to our channel. Now let's dig into this thing and see can't we figure it out. Now, I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge that sometimes when I'm researching end time prophecies, and as I read the revelation of the message, it stops me cold in my tracks and it gives me shivers. But as God answered the prophet Habakkuk, write the vision, make it plain upon tables, that he may run that reads it. So I thank God for giving Daniel the vision. I thank God for allowing the archangel Gabriel to make it plain. This week, we step back into an earlier time in the book of Daniel, back to a time when Belshazzar was king and Babylon was firmly in power. Back when Daniel was boldly walking in his prophetic and visionary gifts. However, in this particular vision, he needed the interpretive gifts of the angel Gabriel to help him understand what God had revealed to him. And when Gabriel had completed his interpretation of the vision and conveyed it to Daniel, Daniel fainted. So what was it that he saw that shook him to that point? Daniel, while doing business on behalf of the king at the citadel, had a vision, and he explained it this way. Then I lifted my eyes and saw, and there, standing beside the river, was a ram which had 2 horns, and the 2 horns were high, but one was higher than the other, and the higher one came up last. I saw the ram pushing westward, northward, and southward, so that no animal could withstand him, nor was there any that could deliver from his hand. But he did according to his will and became great. The second part of the vision was that a male goat A he-goat came from the west and grew very great. But when he became strong, the large horn was broken, and in place of it, 4 notable ones came up toward the 4 winds of heaven. Then the third vision was most onerous. It says, and out of one of them came forth a little horn, which waxed exceeding great toward the south, and toward the east, and toward the pleasant land. And it waxed great even to the host of heaven, and it cast down some of the host and of the stars to the ground, and stamped upon them. Finally, in the vision, he heard 2 saints talking amongst each other, posing the question one to another: how long will the vision be concerning the daily sacrifices and the transgression of desolation, the giving of both the sanctuary and the host to be trampled underfoot? And he said to me, for 2,300 days, then the sanctuary shall be cleansed. So on Sunday, the archangel Gabriel, he who announced to the Virgin Mary that she had been chosen to bear the Son of God, he who heralded visions and an angel of the highest rank, explains to Daniel what he had just seen in the vision. It goes this way. And he said, behold, I will make thee know what shall be in the last end of the indignation. For at the time appointed, the end shall be. The ram which you saw, having 2 horns, are the kings of Media and Persia. And the rough goat is a king of Greece. And the great horn that is between his eyes is the first king. And as God guided history, 200 years later, he used the king of Greece, Alexander the Great. He used his passion to spread Greek culture to prepare the world for the gospel of Jesus Christ. And because of Alexander's influence, Greek became the common language of the civilized world and the language of the New Testament. Now, Alexander the Great, that being broken, whereas 4 stood up for it, 4 kingdoms shall stand up out of the nation, but not in his power. After Alexander's sudden death, his 4 generals, these 4 offspring of Alexander's empire, synonymous to the 4 wings of a fowl in Daniel's dream of 4 beasts, were Cassander, he ruled over Europe. Lysimachus ruled over Asia Minor, now Turkey. Ptolemy ruled over Egypt, and Seleucus ruled over Syria and Babylon. In the latter time of the kingdom, when the transgressors are come to the full, a king of fierce countenance and understanding dark sentences shall arise. That would be Antiochus Epiphanes, springing from the tree of Seleucus, known for his ruthless, senseless cruelty and brutality. Gabriel wraps the dream this way: and the vision of the evening and the morning which was told is true. Wherefore shut up the vision, for it shall be for many days. The Apostle John, in the book of Revelation, heard Jesus say, do not seal the words of the prophecy of this book, for the time is at hand. He who is unjust, let him be unjust still. He who is filthy, let him be filthy still. He who is righteous, let him be righteous still. And he who is holy, let him be holy still. Hey, I'm looking forward to next week's lesson as we go back in and dig a little deeper here on the Before the Lesson podcast. Remember to subscribe to our Mama Pie Sunday School class YouTube channel. And until next time, be blessed.
I wondered if she understood it, but as soon as I started singing, she started moving her little head. I never did know the verse, but I sang it through one time. Then she said, she looked at me. She said they'd been making noise in that nursing home. She said, but it ain't our kind of noise. We'll understand it better. I said, by and by, mother. She went like this. Oh, by and by, when the morning comes. Come on. Oh, the thank God. We'll tell the story how it all, and we'll understand it better. Then she sang this. We are often tossed and driven on the restless seas of time, somber skies and howling tempests off the sea to bright sunshine. In that land of perfect day, when the mists have rolled away,